Episode 4.
Whee!
Episode
We
4.
made
Look
it.
at us continuing to do this 4 times.
4 times.
All right, so the movie that we have watched and we're going to talk about today, Frozen.
Frozen. Let
Frozen.
it go. Let it go.
And we're just going to sing the song the whole episode over and over and over again.
Yep, that's it. That's
all you need.
It'll be almost as interesting as when they did that in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I don't know that reference.
They, you don't? You must have missed that in one of my streams where I just took about 30 minutes to rant about how not fun the Frozen level is in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes, I think I missed that stream.
Because they took a chunk of their budget and just poured it all into redoing Let It Go, scene for scene, in the Kingdom Hearts graphics, with Sora just watching in the background being like, whoa.
That seems unnecessary.
Yeah, and the level's super boring, so... Anyways, yeah. Oh. So, yeah, let's be more interesting than that, I think.
We will do our best. We'll do our best. You want to give us a synopsis?
Sure. Okay, so Frozen came out in theaters on November 27th, 2013. The synopsis: when their kingdom becomes trapped in a perpetual, I can't say that word, perpetual winter, fearless Anna joins forces with mountaineer Kristoff and his reindeer sidekick to find Anna's sister, Snow Queen Elsa, and break her icy spell. Although their epic journey leads them to encounters with mythical trolls, a comedic snowman, harsh conditions, and magic at every turn, Anna and Kristoff bravely push onward in a race to save their kingdom from winter's cold grip.
Can't believe this movie came out over 10 years ago.
Yeah, it hurts.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
To me.
It makes me feel old thinking about it.
Fun fact, I actually saw Let It Go before the movie came out.
Ooh.
I will not disclose as to why. You can probably guess.
Oh.
Based on what you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to see it before and it was like, ooh.
That's pretty
cool. And obviously Idina Menzel is like we like musical theater, so I was like, ooh.
I would say sort of grew up listening to her, at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would have been
Wicked. Yeah, middle school.
Middle school.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it got really popular. Yeah, popular. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. I remember I actually got to go to D23. I guess it was that year in 2013. I was visiting, and Andrew had a third ticket for the last day of the convention, I guess.
Nice.
And we went. I didn't get to see anything special for it because they don't do anything on the third day that's that important. Everything's either on the first day or the second day. And but they had a giant Frozen setup, just here's concept art and fun things and merchandise. And I bought some because I had no self-control at the time. I also got to meet Paige O'Hara. That was cool. I stood in line to meet her. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
She voices Belle from Beauty and the Beast, in case people out there don't know. I ditched Andrew to go meet her because he wanted to go watch this Disney Infinity toy or a video game thing.
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have all those in my closet. They're not worth anything. They're worth zero money. But yeah, so that's kind of one of my earlier introductions to that. And I was excited because it was the first princess movie we had since Tangled. Well, no, we had Brave, but Brave was Pixar.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But
you like Brave?
I like parts of Brave. I like I honestly really enjoy the first half. When the mom turns into a bear, I lose all interest. I think they had a really good setup, and then the payoff was not very good. But I loved Merida's design. I liked the art, and I like the characters. I just don't enjoy the story as much. But yeah, anyway, so since Tangled, we hadn't had like a traditional princess film, and I was excited because it looked fun, and I remember I did a bunch of reading about it before, and I was really annoyed when the trailer came out, the first teaser trailer came out. Because
see, I never watch or pay attention to trailers, so
you'll have to fill me in. That was all I did when I was younger. We would get a VHS, and I would like memorize all of the movies that were coming out.
Well, okay, when we I watch those trailers, sure, but like once like I don't like watch trailers when they're released online. Yeah. These days. As an adult, I don't watch trailers.
At the time, I did because my life had fallen apart. I had come home from China and didn't know what to do with myself, so I paid attention to things like that. But when the trailer came out, it's just like it's a teaser with Olaf and Sven. That's all they gave the audience. So I had done some reading, and I knew more about what the movie was about. And I was like, no one's going to want to watch this if all they think is it's about a reindeer and a snowman. And then, interesting. And then they released another trailer later. Well, so Japan got a trailer. I even watched the Japanese trailer. I was so excited about this movie before it came out.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. So the Japanese trailer, which I can't remember most of it, but it had scenes of Elsa using her ice magic, and it was like up on a mountain. It's a scene that was never used in the movie. And I was just like, this is so cool. Why didn't they use this here? It had a similar vibe to the second movie when that trailer came out, but it's not the same. But I was excited for this movie when it came out, and then it came out, and I enjoyed it, and then I wanted it to burn in a dumpster fire for a few years.
Oh no!
It wasn't really the movie's fault. It was just I started working at the Disney store in October 2013. There was already Frozen merchandise on the wall, and then November came, and then there was no merchandise left. And then they played the soundtrack, and there was a disc that we had to play that had Let It Go on it 3 times in an hour. And I was like, okay, no. It's Thanksgiving season. I'm in the store like every day.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I never want to hear this song again.
That's so funny.
10 years later, I don't have quite the same PTSD response to the movie and music as I did, but there was a time where I was like, I hate this movie. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And now I'm like, it's okay.
It is funny because it was so much. Mm-hmm. Like, I definitely remember where it went from super fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think the summer after it came out, I was an intern at our church and was like working with the youth. And we went like on this trip or something, and like we sang every single song on the bus. Every single one. And like it was super fun.
Yeah.
And then I think like shortly after that, it was like, okay, too much.
Yeah. I'm done.
Too much. I don't need to hear Let It Go ever again.
Yeah.
And so then it definitely was like, no, I don't like this movie because there was just too much of it.
Yeah.
And so now when I go back and watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I do like it.
I remember.
Excuse me. I'm like,
I remember when I liked it. I think it also one of my like more like strong memories of when I first saw this movie it had snowed here. And it was the start of it being really snowy for a little while. So like the ground was starting to freeze over when we pull into the parking lot to go see this movie.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember that scene where Elsa's running out of the castle and she steps on the water and it turns to ice and it gets all snowy and cold. I swear the theater got colder. Like, I felt like the temperature dropped while I was sitting and I was like, this is so cool. And then
your theater had a 4D experience. Yeah, you just didn't realize.
Yeah, in our mall, or the theater in our mall. Yeah,
the whole mall.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then it was super snowy for like 2 weeks after that. So it was kind of timed. The timing was great.
Timing,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, should we start with classic Disney moment?
All right. What was yours?
I put down the super cocky villain. And specifically this line from which, spoiler alert, Hans is the villain.
What?
But I think Anna says Anna. Oh gosh. Cut that out. I don't want to be seen saying the wrong name. Gosh, that was embarrassing. I call myself a Disney fan. This is one of my pet peeves when I watch other Disney content or hear like podcasts and they like mess up super easy stuff and I'm like, do you even like Disney?
Do you even watch the movie?
Okay, so sorry, Anna. She says like, you won't get away with this. And he goes, oh, I already have.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, the movie's not over yet, dude.
Right. I don't know. He doesn't know that.
And maybe it's not even just a Disney thing. It's just like a villain thing.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what I pulled out was just like super cocky villain.
Yeah. It's funny because I guess I don't know why don't villains stick around? You know? Like, why do they leave before the threat has died?
Right. If he had just like, stayed
or just
to make sure.
Finish the job. Like, but he was trying to make it look natural.
Jess thinks that Hans should have killed Anna.
I'm just saying commit because he was about to slice Elsa open a couple minutes later, no hesitation. So like just like follow through, you know? Classic moment for like a very generic. I wrote opening song because every movie is opening with the song. And then I wrote dead parents.
Oh, of course. Of course.
At least we got to see them for like 4 minutes before they died. So maybe.
Yeah.
That's longer than some parents. Probably less than Mufasa. But more than most.
More than most, yeah. And actually had dead parents. You just can't get away from it in Disney movies. But it's because it builds character.
It does.
You know?
I feel like there's other things in life that build character, but...
Yeah, but are those as quick and easy to explain in a movie?
I guess not.
You can't go through the whole parents' divorce and explain the complicated trauma and the hardness that causes in a Disney film.
I was gonna say they managed to pull something like that off in Up, but a wife died as opposed to a parent, so somebody still died. Somebody has to die.
Somebody has to die.
Somebody has to die. That's
Well, let's think of the movies where no one has died and whether it's a good movie or not.
Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet, the dad's dead.
The dad left.
Left.
He's
okay.
He's just a jerk.
Do we know he's alive?
Does it matter?
No.
Billy Bones died. I forgot. He dies at the beginning. But he's not like a central character. He's just a plot. No. He's a plot device. It's fine. He just is.
I don't have the time to go through each movie and determine whether someone died or not. I'm
going to sit here and just think. Emperor's New Groove.
Two living parents. Yeah, that's not a plot point in any of the character development.
Oh,
Chicken
man.
Little. Does Chicken Little have a mom?
Mom's dead.
Oh, mom's dead. Okay. Meet the Robinsons.
I haven't seen that one.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
And so episode 5 will be
Meet the
very popular, well-known Disney film.
I've heard it's
Meet the Robinsons.
I've heard it's good. It came out in a weird time for me.
I don't know if I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it. We're gonna have to talk about it. I don't know if it'll be episode 5, but I'm submitting it for consideration.
Okay, I'll take it. We'll do it. I literally have no reason not to watch it. Nothing about it pulled me into it.
It's from that very random Disney period. Like, in my mind, after Treasure Planet, Brother Bear, the Bolt. They're Brother Bear, Home on the Range, which I love.
I do love it.
Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt. And then we get Princess and the Frog.
I got you. Okay.
There's a 5-movie weird stint. So really, you could put the weird time starting after Tarzan. I'm looking at a list, people. I don't just have this memorized. Right. I mean, if you tested me, I could probably get it. But
I can do the late 80s to early 2000s. After that, I start losing it.
Yeah, so after Tarzan is Fantasia 2000, and then it just gets weird. Dinosaur. And there are a few gems, which would be like Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, Lilo and Stitch. Anyways, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
We got a lot of movies we can talk about.
We really do. We haven't even touched non-Disney movies yet, so...
No, we gotta decide when we're gonna throw in Pixar.
Random Pixar, random DreamWorks. I want to do Road to El Dorado at some point.
Oh yeah. Would our Disney fans stand for non-Disney? Comment below.
What non-Disney movies do you want us to talk about?
Would you still watch our show if we talked about non-Disney movies? Comment below, like, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. Am I doing this right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
I've watched a few YouTube videos.
Yeah. Favorite character?
Yeah, no question. It's Olaf. It's Olaf. I adore him. I love that. One, he's hilarious, but I also love that he's not just a silly sidekick.
Yeah.
But he's also very heartwarming, pun intended, but a very heartwarming character. And the nonsense that comes out of his mouth is just hilarious. But then at the end, he's so thoughtful and is really the heart of the movie at the end.
Yeah.
And so I really like that he's not just the sidekick, but that he plays a very important role. So it's Olaf.
So when the trailer started dropping for Frozen, I did not like Olaf. And honestly, it took me several years to get to the point where I like him as a character. It wasn't... I thought he was going to annoy me. And for a long time, I just didn't have any, it's Olaf. Olaf's there. Okay, cool. Now, I'm more interested in Olaf. I think he's cute and fun. I don't know why I had such I was afraid that he was going to be the Jar Jar Binks of Frozen.
Oh, how funny.
That was the gut reaction I had to him when I saw him at first. I was like, why is he in this movie? Do we need him? We already have Sven. There's too many characters.
Oh, that's funny.
Like,
Just you wait. They're
yeah.
going to make Wish, and then there'll be 15 million characters.
Yeah.
We had to talk about Wish. We just
We
had
do.
to.
It's
Go ahead.
occupational hazard. My favorite character, so I think I like Kristoff. I think Kristoff's my favorite character. He's funny and he's clever and he's not an idiot. But he's also like willing to let Anna do what she needs to do and kind of puts up with her being silly and eventually finds it endearing, I guess, and I enjoy that about him as a dude. I also like Elsa a lot conceptually. I like Elsa the way that she is in the movie. I liked a lot of her concepts. This movie was based on a Hans Christian Andersen story, like Little Mermaid and all those other ones. And the story is completely different. Like, just everything about it's different.
Yep.
The Ice Queen, Snow Queen, whatever you want to call her, is supposed to be the villain. So when they originally were making this movie, Elsa was the villain. There was this concept of Elsa sometimes it was tossed around whether she was Anna's sister or just some random person causing problems. And she just had some really interesting character designs. Like there's
I actually have, sorry to interrupt, I actually wrote in my notes, kind of under the favorite character when I was just thinking about the characters. I actually wrote, is Elsa a villain for most of this movie? And I mean, she kind of still is to a very small extent. Like they don't they don't lean into that. Yeah. But if you think about it, she kind of is.
So her current character is the way it is because they wrote the song Let It Go. And when they're writing this song, they're like, this is not a Disney villain. We don't know what she is, but she's not a villain. She's conflicted, confused, struggling with crazy anxiety, which I can relate to that. So, like, that's one of the reasons why I like her as character. She is able to, like, step into, even more so, she thinks she's stepping into a place of being able to be herself without being anxious. But just because she changes her dress and her hair and is able to use her magic away from all the people, as soon as she's confronted with the problem, that anxiety comes right back. So she hasn't actually dealt with the source of her problems. Sorry, that got really, like, psychological.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
But I may add some pictures of her concept art here. I have the art book, but one of my favorite ones. So at one point she has black hair, and I thought that's really stunning. But then there's another one where she has that like light blonde hair, but it's real short, and it makes her look a little more spunky, edgy. Yeah. I love that. But yeah, so after Let It Go was written, they're like, we have to completely change this character. Because she clearly isn't evil. She just is on the struggle bus and has been isolated for a long time. Isolated. Anyway, so I like Kristoff, but then I also like Elsa.
No, that's good.
In this like box. Anyway, I feel like I always have way more to say about favorite characters than I need to, but characters are important.
There's no. Yeah, they're kind of a big part of the movie. I did have a note about Elsa and Let It Go. Just something I've never thought about before, but you know, during Let It Go, she's like exploring the use of her powers, and she changes her dress. So here is my question. Is her dress made out of ice, or is this just a bonus part of her powers where she gets to change her wardrobe? Have you considered this?
I have. This is actually a debate that the internet has had.
Have you really? Oh, this isn't an original thought?
Yeah. I'm sorry to run that for you. I was heavily invested in Tumblr in 2013, so
sounds right.
I learned some things. No, actually, that is a question. So did you ever watch Frozen Fever, the short? It's like Anna's birthday. Elsa's trying. It's the whole thing is a song.
I think I did, but I have zero memory of it.
So there's a
I'm sure I
bit
did.
where Elsa, she changes her dress completely. Her dress changes, and then she adds like stuff to Anna's dress. And neither of the dresses have anything to do with ice. So I'm like, did she melt the ice?
It's just a bonus power.
Yeah, she just has a bonus. Like, she could have started a fashion business, but instead she decided to run away and live in the forest. So
That's so funny. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Watching this time, I was like, wait a second.
yeah, it's not a very practical outfit. I have some questions about the heels. Like, I feel like that was a little bit of a detriment.
Heels on ice.
Heels on ice, just not a good call. But you know,
Yeah.
maybe it was her first time wearing heels. Best scene.
Best scene. What do you have for this?
Honestly, I love the sequence for Let It Go. Like,
It's visually stunning.
Yeah, her building the castle, making her dress, all that junk. The scene where she's running away from people and she steps on the water and it turns into ice, and then the music that plays, and it just, like I said earlier in the theater, it just felt cold after that scene happened. Like, just whatever they did made the atmosphere, like, based because of what was happening in the movie. Just I felt it physically. But I will say, I think my very, very favorite thing, and it's not even that interesting animation-wise, is this conversation between Anna and Kristoff after they've just met. They're being chased by wolves.
Yes.
That is probably one of my favorite, like, interactions between, like, love interests, I guess, which they weren't at the time, but like, it's just funny because Anna's like, I want to help. No, why not? Because I don't trust your judgment. Excuse me. Like, I just love that.
I do too. I read something really good on it was just on the Wikipedia page, but it was talking about how the sister relationship is the main relationship in the film, which is rare. But then it also talked about how important it was for us to understand why Anna would end up with Kristoff, but not having her, like, be too flirty throughout the movie. Like, they just did that so perfectly, because you still had to be surprised by the ending and not super confused on why she would end up with Kristoff.
Right.
Because you still had to believe that her true love kiss was going to be Hans.
Right.
I mean, the audience knew he wasn't her true love, but you had to understand why Anna still wanted to get back to Hans.
Yeah.
But then it needed to make sense why she would pivot so quickly.
Yeah.
Kristoff, I don't know.
Because otherwise it just feels like she's super flip-floppy.
Right. And she's just throwing herself at whatever man is nearby. So they built up this beautiful relationship between the two of them that doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel flirty. It doesn't feel like she's engaged to this other guy. Why is she posing up to this guy? But I thought they really did a good job with that.
Kristoff's not, like, pushing himself on her the whole time either at all. Like,
he's kind of unassuming.
Yeah, like when his troll friends are like, you should get with her, he's like, she's engaged, can we stop talking about this?
Boundary. Yeah.
So I appreciate that about Kristoff. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
I think maybe it's just the way, I don't know, way we grew up. I love movies that, even if they're short movies, I love character interactions, especially between love interests, that take time. Like, I know there's still that, like, well, they probably got married at the end of the movie, like Aladdin and Jasmine kind of, well, which they don't, but, you know. But I love the time they take to get there. Like, I think my very favorite is Tangle with Flynn and Rapunzel. They take time to get to know each other, and, like, they jive really well. And they did that really well with Anna and Kristoff. Also, I feel bad. I barely mentioned Anna this entire time. I like her a lot in the first
Yeah.
movie. She's
Yeah.
quirky and fun, and I felt bad for her merchandise because she was always picked last
Oh.
because everyone wanted Elsa's stuff. But yeah, so that's my favorite collection of scenes, I guess. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think, yeah, I said it before, the Let It Go scene is just visually stunning. I'm trying to think if there's another scene that, I mean, I can't even think of like a specific one, but I just love Olaf, which I already said. But like when they first meet him and like
Yep.
his song, like it's just fun.
In summer.
It's so fun
Somebody's got to
and
tell him.
clever.
No.
So good. It's so good. Okay, worst scene. I do have one for that. Cringy is at the ball when Anna has to dance with the old guy. Cringy.
Yeah.
And then even that whole scene, like, kind of that whole scene, actually, if you think about it, like, awkward interaction with Elsa, and then, like, oh, we're getting married, and, like, just all of that stuff is, like,
Yeah, just kind of makes you want to hide.
yeah. I don't think worst scene is really the right thing to call this category, but it's just, like...
Yeah. Least
What
favorite
scene?
to view. Like I could live without watching this particular scene.
We could call it worst scene when we were talking about Wish.
Yeah.
Because there were bad scenes.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was a bad scene. It was just like, ooh, don't like this.
Yeah, I feel like scene isn't really necessarily the right word. I think mine's like least favorite storytelling, something they did in the plot that I just was like, meh. But I couldn't tell you how to make it better. I did not like how Elsa's parents handled the situation.
Yes. Why? Why was that a solution?
Because that's not what the troll said at all. He didn't say lock her away. He just said she needs to learn to use her powers correctly. And they said, okay, put her in a room and don't let her out.
Well, and the other thing that I had a question about with the trolls is why did they need to remove the memories of it? Like, Anna could have supported Elsa.
Yeah.
If there had been memories of it, like, just teach her how, like, obviously Elsa didn't have those memories removed.
Right. So Elsa remembered. So
it's like purposefully isolating them.
That is not explained very well in the movie at all. So if you know anything about the original Snow Queen story, there's this... Now, I'm going off the cuff. I haven't read it in a long time, so I don't quite remember all the details, but I remember bits and pieces of it.
So don't come after us in the comments if she says anything wrong.
Yeah, please. Or just gently correct the audience for me. I'd appreciate
please
that.
comment below, though.
Yeah, please
whatever
comment.
your thoughts are.
There's this mirror that belongs to the Ice Queen. Or Snow Queen. I don't know, whatever she's called.
Is it a magic mirror?
Yeah, it actually is. Somehow it shatters, and a piece of it gets stuck in one of the characters' hearts. I'm not really sure how that works. It's obviously not physical because he'd die, but it essentially just kind of keeps digging further and further into his heart and making him a colder and colder and like meaner person. So his heart is being frozen. So I think the concept they were going for with Anna was that the being hit with the ice was going to freeze and permanently damage a piece of her. So they were
Right.
trying to mitigate that by making her forget about it. But I don't really know. Because obviously she didn't, that wound was still there because of her
Right.
hair strip. But for some reason, having the memory taken was keeping her from
Oh.
dying, I guess, or from freezing over like
Okay.
she does
Interesting.
later. So,
Interesting. And then the other thing that I'll say is, did her parents lock Elsa up, or was it that Elsa, not helped by her parents, but was very isolated because she could no longer relate to her sister. She could no longer be open and transparent. She didn't have memories built up
I
in the
think it
same
was
way.
supposed to be a way to protect Anna,
Right.
but it ended up just making everything worse, I think. And then, however many years later, the whole situation would have been fine if they had just let them love each other,
Yeah. Yeah, and support each other.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I bring up, like, I don't think they were locking her away.
No,
Like, I think she was a lot, like, she comes out for the,
little things here and there. I would say a lot of it was self-inflicted.
Right, that's what I mean.
But I don't think she was encouraged very well to, like, not do that. Well, because even the dad says, we'll limit the staff, we'll close everything off, like, and I think the idea is at some point she'd learned how to control her powers and then she wouldn't be a threat to anybody. But, like, imagine living your life as a threat. You'd never want to go outside.
Right,
like,
no, of course not.
If I accidentally touch somebody wrong, they might, like, freeze over, and I don't want that to happen, so I'm just going to stay in my room. That's why the coronation is such a big deal, because it's the first time she's been around people. Talk about anxiety issues.
Seriously.
But, yeah, one of the things that I, like, just my notes I wrote down, I was like, I know they're trying to do the best they can, but keeping both of their daughters in isolation isn't a good call, because when they die, Elsa loses the only support she has.
Right.
Like, that's her support system, and now she's even more isolated. So, anyways, that's mine.
Very true. What is your favorite song?
Probably Let It Go. And I say that it's a beautiful
Even
song.
after all you went through?
Even after everything I went through, I will say I feel like that song was the best one in the movie. I love Love is an Open Door. It's a good villain song. It's not a love song, it's a villain song.
I guess. Zach and I did that song for karaoke before. Zach is my husband, but before we were engaged. And so it gets to the end.
Yeah.
Can I say something crazy? Will you marry me? Yes. But he wouldn't do it. And I was like all getting excited, like being silly about it. And he's like, nope. And gave the mic away.
That's hilarious. It
was really funny.
Yeah, I like that song. I mean, all the songs in the movie are pretty good. But I love First Time in Forever. That one's just kind of a fun, silly Anna song. But Let It Go's the powerhouse of the movie.
So my favorite song is the First Time in Forever reprise.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song when they're like singing over each other and like, oh, I can't be free.
Yeah.
It's sad of me. I don't remember the words, but like that song is so good.
Yeah.
And it's obviously short, but like that's my favorite.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I like that one. Yeah, I also like. I like Rangers Are Better Than People. Just as a joke, it's a fun.
We have to acknowledge that Jonathan Groff, that is his only song, and he is like a huge Broadway star.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm
crazy.
Honestly, I'm still a little salty that they haven't given Anna and Kristoff a duet.
It's so true. That's so true.
There's not
And you
one.
know, I actually think Jonathan Groff would have been a good Hans. He would have played a good Hans as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't even need. I mean, he could have just done both of them.
Um, I think now is a good time for me to insert a very random fact
Oh.
that bothered me while I watched the movie. It's about reindeers, and in that scene where Kristoff and Anna are being chased by the wolves, um, Sven makes this really big jump. I watched that and I was like, reindeers can't jump that far. It just seemed very unrealistic to me, and so I Googled it. I don't know if anyone else cares, but they actually can. It can run at top speeds of 30 miles per hour.
Wow.
It can jump to 25 vertical feet,
Wow.
which is the same height as 4 refrigerators stacked on top of each other. And because then the wolves couldn't jump that far, and I was like, what? Why can't the wolves make it? Because they can't jump as far.
Yep.
They can only jump 16 feet horizontally in a single bound.
Hence why the reindeers are better than wolves and people, and also make the best pets for Santa Claus.
Makes sense. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. So, don't know that anyone else cared about that, but it bothered me when I watched the movie. And it's my podcast, so I can say whatever I want.
Living snowman, not a problem. Can reindeer really jump that far?
No. Oh no. Bothered me.
No, it's funny. I love that. I love that was the thing that you were like, I need to look into this.
Wait a minute.
Also, Kristoff's sled going up in flames is a little over the top too. What was he carrying?
Don't care. Just need to know about the reindeer jumping that far. Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Oh, it's so funny. But like the music overall. So it was written by Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez, who are just a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
They wrote the music for the Finding Nemo the musical at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I know of it. I've never seen it and I haven't listened to it. I've heard clips from it though.
So my sister was obsessed with that musical for a bit. And the music is so good.
Okay.
Like it's on Spotify. I haven't listened to it in forever, but I'll have to send you the song that that I like the most, because it's really good.
Okay.
But anyways, for Frozen they wrote 25 songs for the film. Jeez. And only 8 were included. So that's a lot.
They included a couple of things in the like bonus soundtrack.
Yeah, seven of them were included in the deluxe edition, it says. Which I just skipped those ones because they're not like fully done songs. They're like the demos.
Did they do,
if I remember correctly?
Did they do did they add songs to the Broadway like version?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
So Elsa has an extra song that I know off the top of my head. I wonder if it's trying to be Elphaba's turning song, you know, when she's doing like that's what it's wanting to be, but I feel like the power isn't there vocally.
I haven't listened to
that's the only song I've listened to from that soundtrack. I was just wondering if they had helped write any of the Broadway extras.
I imagine they did. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure, but I imagine they did.
Yeah. It's called Monster, in case you want to listen to it. It's basically her just being like, am I a monster? I don't know. Yes, I'm a monster. I don't want to be a monster. Like, that's kind of the song. It really reminded me of Elphaba's, what is that?
Does she sing it before Let It Go or after?
It's after. So
Okay.
it's when Hans and company are coming to find her. Because they have some, he sings for a second.
Hmm.
Anyways, but yeah, so I like the direction the song was going in, but it doesn't quite stick the landing for me.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a listen.
But
any comments that you have about the music just overall? We've talked a lot about it already.
I don't think so. I have some fun facts that I found that are about just the movie in general. So this is one of the reasons I was so interested in Frozen before it came out, was because I had learned some of this stuff beforehand. So Walt Disney, wanted to make the Snow Queen back when he was, alive. But stuff happened, and I wrote down various issues came up, like World War II. So the project was shelved.
Just small issues.
Little things here and there. So they started trying to make it again in the 90s, during the Renaissance, but it was scrapped in 2002. Glenn Keane had started doing some stuff for it, but then he went and worked on Tangled, and then he retired right after that, in 2010, 11 or whatever. This was one of my favorite things. During one of the development attempts, the Walt Disney Company chair and CEO Michael Eisner supported the project and suggested director John Lasseter at Pixar and suggested it to the director at Pixar after the expected renewal of Pixar's contract with Disney. Negotiations between Pixar and Disney collapsed in January 2004. And the contract was not renewed. So there was a little bit of a problem going on between Pixar and Disney at the time.
Yes.
Chris Buck was brought in to correct. He did Tarzan. Michael, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Michael insert name here. Was the art director. He was the art director for Pocahontas.
I love Pocahontas.
Yeah. It grossed $1.280 billion worldwide.
Is it okay?
And was the highest grossing animated film until 2019. I don't have...
Do you know what... Sorry. Do you know what I read, which blew me away? So, and you may have been getting to this, but the writer was promoted to co-director, making her the first woman to direct a full-length animated film from Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that.
That's crazy. It was 2013 that the movie came out.
Yep.
The first woman to direct. That's just...
That's
crazy.
It is a little... It's
But
wild.
I guess not that surprising, but,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
especially to be a movie about
sisters,
women and sister relationship. That's pretty cool.
And the fact that it knocked it out of the park,
Yeah. Awesome.
It won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song, of course. And then that was the year that Alex, what was his name? Yeah.
Alec Baldwin.
Adeem Dizel, what did he call her?
Yeah.
Adeem Dizel.
I don't remember.
Or something like that.
Not even close to Idina Menzel.
Oh my god. Can you imagine, somebody just butchers your name right before you're supposed to go on stage to sing, and then
the Oscars.
And then I remember she had a problem with one of the notes that she was supposed to hit, and it was probably because she was so thrown off by what did he call me?
I don't know. And how embarrassed he must have been.
I
Like,
can
how soon do
only.
you think they told him when he walked off
He
stage?
probably knew he said it wrong when he walked off stage. He was probably just like, I just had to power through and never again. I mean,
So
that's
terrible.
that's not quite as bad as the what was it? Like Miss America or Miss
Oh yeah, reading the
Universe
wrong
or
name.
whatever, reading the incorrect person's name for the winner.
Awful. Or they did that at the Oscars too,
Oh my gosh. She's
where they
just
read the
like,
wrong
oops,
name.
that's the wrong person. Can you please give us the
Just
Oscar
kidding,
back?
just kidding.
That's cringe.
So
That's
cringy.
cringy. Um,
Okay.
so animation wise, it was gonna be hand drawn. There's a few early
Yes.
clips that are so cute, and I wish they had done that. I know why they didn't. Because it was a lot of snow and it would look better, and they did that. Anyways, Elsa was supposed to be the villain. We talked about that already. It made her too sympathetic. That was the biggest problem. Let It Go made her too sympathetic of a villain. You can't agree wholeheartedly with the villain. It has to be
Right.
like, I get where you're coming from, but like the way you're going about it's not great. Kristoff, one of, or at least I think, I don't know if I found this on Wikipedia or if I just made it up, but or noticed it. But Kristoff's look is somewhat inspired by one of Flynn Rider's earlier designs.
Oh, interesting.
So I'll see if I can add that too. But it's very similar.
I
So at
thought
one
we weren't
point,
supposed to be adding lots of
we're
things
not
to our
we're
videos anymore,
we're not
Jessica.
we're not we're not. It's just the little things that I have on hand that I think about. But yeah,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
at one point Flynn was a much like bigger character, like
Mm,
and like dwarfed Rapunzel,
mm,
and they scrapped that design and it kind of floated its way over to Kristoff's base.
nice.
Um,
Love it.
and it's a kind of a the movie's a computer generated slash traditional hand drawn blend. Um, and I mean, it's a beautiful film.
It is. It really is. I think my view of the movie, I mean, I already talked about how it being kind of overhyped impacted my feelings about the movie. And then I think what really impacted it was Frozen 2, which we won't get into here,
Yeah.
but eventually we'll cover it. I don't think we'll do it next, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Down
we
the
could talk
road.
about it. But
Down the road.
yeah, but I have some pretty strong feelings about Frozen 2. And
I'm
I think
ex-
we differ pretty significantly in our feelings
I
about Frozen 2, but
I don't know.
we'll find
My
out.
feelings have changed a little bit.
Mm.
The older and wiser I have become since 2019, and
There.
being married to a critical movie viewer. That sounds bad. Not in like a bad like critic,
No, but just
but like Kyle sees things in
sees it
movies
differently.
and points them out, and I'm like, now I can't enjoy it anymore. But
Yeah.
it's also not a bad
So,
thing. So it's, if I ever actually do get around to writing a book, I'll have all of this information to help me write the perfect book.
that's
But
great. That's great.
I enjoy this movie. I have one more Frozen Disney story for you
Oh, yes,
to
please.
to close the book. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe, let's see, I don't quite remember the time frame. It was after Black Friday. We had sold out of everything Frozen related. I mean, like everything Elsa related. So people were like buying whatever was left because they were, upset. So we had people come to us at the store and tell us that we were going to ruin their child's Christmas because we didn't have an Elsa doll. I remember that. There was that one. And then the other one was we ran out of Elsa dresses.
Oh.
So we ran out of them before Christmas, and we didn't get any more until April.
April?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It took,
Oh gosh.
and then when we started getting the dresses in, we had to do drawings. People had to come in and put their
Really?
name in a hat to see if they could even buy the dress, because we didn't have enough on hand to just put out for people to buy.
Wow.
And we had to make sure that they understood this is to buy, not to
Yeah.
like walk out
You're not
with.
winning a dress.
Yeah. So those
Oh,
were,
interesting.
that was some of the stuff that made me not like Frozen for a little while. And it wasn't the movie's fault. Like, you
Right.
know, it was the people we were
It's
working
just the
with.
craze around
But
it.
yeah, it's like, we're ruining your kids' Christmas. I'm sorry? Like, that shouldn't, give them an IOU or something. Like, this shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like,
Oh
I
gosh.
get wanting to make your kids Christmas special. Like, I understand
Yeah.
that. My
Those
mom.
are just not the kind of Christmases
No.
that we had
No.
growing up.
My very favorite thing I remember, my very favorite Christmas, Mom gave me the Jessie doll from Toy Story. I didn't know I was getting it. I really wanted it. Everywhere we went, it was sold out, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. That's a bummer. Maybe I'll get it later. And then there it was. It was the last gift that I opened under the tree.
Oh.
Like, I still have
Love
that
it.
doll. She is at my mom's house sitting on a shelf with my other Toy Story toys that I
Love
will
it.
eventually bring over and give to my child. But like, you know, that I get that. I get not, you know,
Yeah.
wanting to disappoint your kid, but like that's not what Christmas is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christmas
And
in,
I guess
yeah.
like
Christmas in July.
what I Yeah, well, and I guess the way that like my Christmas list worked is like, yeah, you would write down things that you wanted, but that didn't mean you for sure would get
Right.
it. You'd get like maybe one thing off of
Yeah.
the list, but
Exactly.
there was no like, well, how on earth could I have not gotten the Elsa doll?
I
Like,
promised her an Elsa doll. Like, well, you shouldn't have promised her an Elsa doll. Like,
sounds like a personal problem.
you shouldn't be making promises like that.
Take it up with Santa,
Yeah. Or
not with me, who's
Yeah.
paid minimum wage.
exactly. But it was
Oh my
crazy. And, you know, it eventually calmed down. But for about a year, it was all Frozen all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't lose my mind. I think there were days I thought I was going to, but overall.
Oh, one other thing that I meant to say during the music portion is if our viewers have not seen the Walt Disney World show, Happily Ever After, this scene where they play Love's an Open Door,
Oh, yeah.
and it starts with Olaf saying, "Some people are worth melting for."
I remember that.
And then it goes into a really slow, beautiful version of Love's an Open Door. I may have seen that before it was released as well. I won't say why. But
That version is gorgeous. It is.
when I first saw that, like, I cried. It is so beautiful. So, highly recommend you go onto YouTube. Maybe we'll link it below. Could we link it in our
we can try.
description if we remember?
Yeah.
To link to a video of that show, because if you haven't been and seen it in person, it is gorgeous. And the whole show is amazing.
Yeah.
But this section specifically opens up like the love portion of the show, and
See, they could have done like
Pretty
a
stunning.
reprise with Kristoff and Anna or something.
they could
They could have
yeah.
literally given
That's
us
gonna bother me now too.
something.
I have not thought of that.
So this is
What a miss.
so there is a song that exists in the world with Anna and Kristoff singing together, but not for very long. It's mostly a Kristoff song, and then Anna sings with them a little bit at the end. It was a cut song from Frozen 2. It's it's on the soundtrack. It's called, gotta get this right, and it's essentially Kristoff is trying to propose to Anna the whole time.
Oh,
Super
Yeah.
cute. Kyle played that song right before he proposed to me. I had shown it to him like months ago, months before the movie had come, or whatever,
Oh,
before he had
yeah.
proposed, and so I was informed later that he had timed the length of time of the song and the time it took to get to where he was going to propose to me at. So he timed it perfectly. Like the sun was setting, the music's
That's
playing, and I'm just like, la la la. I love this song.
that's so
And then
good.
he got us to his parents' house, and he took me into the backyard. I'm freaking out the whole time because we're supposed to be a life group. Like, why are we going to your parents' house? It's like the opposite direction. And he's like, I gotta pick up something. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be late. And then we get there, and he's like, okay, let's go get the thing. I'm like, okay, I'll wait for you in the car. He's like, no, come in with me. And I'm just like, why?
Why?
We go in the house. It's completely dark. I'm like, this is weird. And then he opens the back door, and there's like candles lining the walkway. And then the song
Oh.
playing in the car kind of clicks. And I was like, oh, we're doing this now.
Oh, did you connect the song? You realize?
I did. I did eventually.
That's so
It came
great.
to me. I was like, oh, that's why you played the song. Anyways, I was gonna save that for Frozen 2, but I thought I'd throw it in now.
Well, this is a little teaser.
Yeah.
A little teaser for Frozen 2. I love it. Oh, we didn't do our rating.
Oh yeah.
Our rating.
Ratings.
What do you have for it? Okay, so our options are starting at the bottom for movies like Wish that we don't like. The one-time watch. That's it. Level above that is, I mean, I won't turn the TV off if the movie's on. Our middle tier is, it's a lovely background movie. And then above that is, watching once a year is not enough, but that's all the time I have because I'm an adult with a job. And then our top rating is, my kids will love this movie whether they like it or not, because we'll be playing it so much, basically. So, what's your rating for this?
Mine is I won't turn it off if it's on.
Really?
I might watch it once a year, like
Yeah.
intentionally. But if it's like on, I'll listen to the
Yeah.
music, you know. But it's not one of the ones that I'll sit and watch like 4 times in a week, like I've done with Treasure Planet.
Fair. Yeah, I have it a step higher. I have it at lovely background movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like if it comes up on kind of my random system that I have for watching Disney
Oh,
movies,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll watch that.
I'm very much what am I in the mood for kind of person.
Yeah.
And so it's not very often that Frozen pops up on that list.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm more of a, I mean, I think I alluded to it in one of our other episodes. Like, I just want to watch a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make a decision about which one. Like, I just want one of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, sometimes I'll be in the mood, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know, a random movie. Like, Meet the Robinsons.
Exactly. Meanwhile, I'm like, all right, I've watched Treasure Planet 3 times this week. What do I want to watch? I want to watch Treasure Planet.
Or Atlantis.
Or Atlantis. Or Hunchback.
We're going to have to get to one of your favorites soon.
I know. Like, I wanted to get,
I don't think I'll be able to, like, talk about anything, though. Like, I'll just sit here with my drink and just be like, okay, what else, Jess?
I wanted to get us to the point where we're having less technical issues, like visually,
Yes.
sound-wise, getting into a groove before we broke into one of my all-time favorite movies.
For sure.
So we'll get there
I feel like this
eventually.
one pretty, I think we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting into a groove.
Very
But-
good. All right. Well, it's been lovely. And if we didn't mention it before, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when our episodes are posted. We're doing it about monthly right now,
Yep.
I think, is the cadence we're on.
Yeah.
Because we're working women with child.
Yes.
And we'll also have a fun announcement next next video. So stay tuned for that if
Yay.
you don't know us in real life.
Yeah. And share with your
What could
friends.
the announcement be? Oh, yeah, and share.
Share with your friends.
And with your enemies.
And with your enemies. Start a fight in the comments. I'll engage.
We should be engaging with our comments. Have we been doing that? I don't think we have.
We haven't really had that many comments at all, but we've had a handful.
My friend Daniel commented. My friend Daniel commented twice. Shout out to Daniel, our number one fan.
Right.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Episode 3 hasn't posted yet. So, all right, let's close this out.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Is wrapping. Do we have a sign off? I don't remember.
Not really. It's just like,
we need to
see you next time.
See you next time.
Do the Pocahontas wave.
We used to do that. Okay, wrap it up. Bye, everybody.
Bye.